3 years ago, the comic market was really granting some serious wishes with 8 Billion Genies. Here's what made it stand out. It offered a unique take on the idea of wishes and their consequences. Stories blended action, mystery, and thoughtful social themes. The artwork had a distinct style that caught readers' attention. Besides 8 Billion Genies, other titles were definitely making magic of their own, like Star Wars Darth Vader #20, featuring the first cover appearance of The Mandalorian and Grogu, the long-running Betty and Veronica series, and the debut of Iyanu, Child of Wonder. We'll explore what made these comics worth following and how they fit into the landscape back then, and how do they fare up today. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Izzy from Comics with IzzyVerseNYC, and this is your Covrprice Top 10 Rewind. We're cracking open the time capsule, and we're flashing back to July 2022. It was a monumental month, largely defined by the indie sensation 8 Billion Genies, which claimed more than half of the top picks. We'll also highlight some unexpected entries that made the cut. We'll compare their selling prices then to their current market value now. And don't forget, if you enjoy this content and more spec and trending talk, hit that like button and subscribe to Covrprice's YouTube channel. Now let's see how many wishes were really granted on this list, starting with number 10. Kicking off our list at number 10 is 8 Billion Genies #1, Bird City variant with that awesome Trish Forstner homage to Super Mario 3. Limited to just 500 copies, this book was a collector's dream in 2022. Raw near-mint copies were fetched at a hefty $248, and a CGC 9.8 slab would set you back an incredible $750. Fast forward to today, and while the prices have come down, they are still impressively strong. A raw copy now sells for around $213, and a 9.8 recently sold for $580. Even though the prices are down, this book is holding its value far better than most that spike from adaptation news. With more news expected on the series, these prices could easily climb up again. This book is a perfect example of how great nostalgic cover and a limited print run can really sustain value. Homage covers are a huge part of the market, and when you combined it with a red-hot series like 8 Billion Genies, you got a recipe for long-term success. Even with a slight dip, that's a fantastic hold. It shows that scarcity and fantastic art will almost always command a premium. 9 is G.I. Joe Real American Hero, $295, 1:10 ratio variant by John Royle. Royle was gaining a lot of heat in 2022, and this cover was a prime example with raw copies selling for $50. While there's no graded sales right at that time, a 9.8 sold for $125 later that year. Today, this book has become a ghost online. The last raw sale was $60 in 2024, and the last CGC 9.8 sale was $190. Despite a high of $250, the current value is a clear indicator that this book is up 3 years later, showing the power of scarcity. I love seeing a book like this on this list. It's not from massive media announcement, but rather from a talented artist on a beloved franchise. The key takeaway here is hard to find books can command the market value. When collectors just can't find a book, they're willing to pay more when one finally surfaces. This is a great win for anyone who picked up for The Ratio back in 2022. It proves that not every investment needs a movie attached to it. At number 8, we have a book that was riding high on the Mandalorian wave. Star Wars Darth Vader #20, the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary variant. This was the first comic book cover to feature both Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, and Baby Yoda, Grogu. In 2022, raw copies were selling for $15, and a 9.8 slab was going for $100. 3 years later, it generally cooled off like most Star Wars comics do. Raw copies are down to around $6, and a 9.8 recently sold for just $41. This book is definitely down, but with the Mandalorian movie on the horizon, this key cover appearance could see a major rebound.
This is a really interesting one. It's a tale of market timing. In 2022, The Mandalorian was everything. Now the market's a bit saturated. However, I wouldn't sleep on this book. It will always be the first cover appearance of two iconic characters together. At this low price, this might be a fantastic buy and hold for the long term. Once that movie gets closer, people will be scrambling for this book again. This is the way.
7 spots goes to Iyanu, Child of Wonder Halloween Comic Fest #1 from Unique Studios. This free giveaway comic exploded in 2022 after an animated series was announced by Cartoon Network. Raw copies were hitting $20 and a 9.8 was selling for $200. 3 years on, the lack of news has caused the market to cool. Today, raw copies are around $11 and a 9.8 has dropped to $83. This book is down from its 2022 peak, but it's a perfect example of a book waiting for the next catalyst. Any new trailer or release date will likely send this one soaring again.
This is the classic adaptation announcement spike. The initial news caused a frenzy, but the market can't sustain that level of heat without consistent updates. For those who bought this book at the peak, it's a tough hold. But for anyone looking to invest now, this is a great opportunity. We know the show is coming, so the interest will return. It's just a matter of when.
A surprise at number 6 from the Archie universe, Betty and Veronica, Friends Forever, Summer Surf Party #1. This issue features the first appearance of Stacey Banks, a genius-level inventor. The book was selling for a strong $20 raw, with an early graded 9.8 sale at $42. Today, the market's a big mix. Raw prices have dropped to $9, but the last graded 9.8 sale in April 2024 hit $85. With raw prices down but graded prices up, we're calling this one a hold. It's a bit of an enigma, but the high grade sale shows that there's still collector interest.
Archie books have a very dedicated fan base, and first appearances always matter. The discrepancy between the raw and the graded prices is fascinating. It suggests that while casual interest may have waned, serious collectors are still willing to pay a premium for a perfect slab copy of this new character's debut. It'll be interesting to see if Stacey Banks plays a larger role in the Archie universe, which will definitely boost this book's profile.
Breaking into the top 5, we have our second book from the Juggernaut series, 8 Billion Genies #1, Cover A. The excitement for this series was off the charts, driving raw copies to $30 and graded 9.8 to a whopping $160. 3 years later, prices have settled down significantly. Raw copies are now $11 and you can get a 9.8 for about $69. While this book is down, the story behind the adaptation rights is legendary. Amazon won a massive bidding war against 27 other studios in what insiders call one of the most expensive deals forever for an indie comic. The potential here is astronomical.
Okay, this is where the 8 Billion Genies dominance really begins. This is the main cover of the series that started it all. Yes, the prices are down from the initial madness, but think about that bidding war. Amazon didn't spend that kind of money to let this property sit on the shelves. They have massive plans. At under $70 for a 9.8, this feels like an absolute steal right now. The fuse has been lit. We're just waiting for the explosion.
At number 4, we have yet another Genie book, the James Harren variant for 8 Billion Genies, issue number 3. This cover also caught fire with raw copies hitting $30 and 9.8s reaching $76. Just like its brethren, the lack of news has caused a price drop. Today, Raws are down to about $5, and the last 9.8 sale in February 2024 was for $60. It's another book that is down for now, but sitting on a launch pad waiting for news.
James Harben is an artist's artist. His style is so dynamic, and this cover is fantastic. It's pretty wild to see a book that was $30 raw now sitting at $5. This is what we call a buy the dip opportunity. If you believe in the future of the 8 Billion Genies franchise on Amazon, picking up these cool variants at their floor prices is a low risk, high reward play.
The Genie train keeps rolling at number 3 with the standard cover for 8 Billion Genies issue number 3. Every issue in this series was a hot commodity. Raw copies of this book were selling for over $35, with a 9.8 selling for $52 in August of 2022. Today, those prices have softened considerably. Raw copies are down to $5, and the last graded sale in June 2024 was only $30. Like all the others, this book is down, but its potential is tied to the massive Amazon adaptation.
It is staggering to see how many books from one series completely dominated the top 10 list back in July of 2022. It speaks to the quality of the story Charles Soule and Ryan Brown created. People were completely captivated, as was I. Again, seeing these prices now, it's hard not to get excited about the future. The entire series is available at a fraction of its peak price, and the big show is still to come.
Our runner-up spot is held by, yes, you guessed it, another Genie book, the Andrew McLean variant for 8 Billion Genies issue number 2. Back in 2022, collectors were paying $40 for raw copies, and a 9.8 slab sold for $107. Today, the prices are down significantly. With raw copies back to cover price at around $3, there hasn't been a graded sale in a few years, which tells you that the market for this specific book has gone quiet. If prices do climb up again, and they probably will, this is rock bottom.
$40 to $3? That's a massive drop. This shows you the power of FOMO, the fear of missing out. When a series gets this hot, people will buy every single cover, driving prices up across the board. Now that the hype has cooled, you can pick up this awesome Andrew McLean variant for less than the price of a cup of coffee. If you're a fan of this series, now is the best time to buy it.
And the number one hottest comic of July 2022 was the standard cover for 8 Billion Genies issue number 2. With the series reaching a fever pitch and some noted printing errors fueled by the fire. Raw copies were moving frequently at $19. A CGC 9.8 sold for $103 in August of that year. And 3 years later, the story is the same. The lack of news on the Amazon adaptation had led to a slide in prices. This book is also down, but as we said in every other Genie book on this list, it's just waiting for the spark to happen.
6 out of the 10 spots on this list are all from one series. That is a true market domination. It is a testament to the incredible story and the massive potential that everyone saw in it. It also serves as a crucial lesson in comic book investing. Hype is temporary, but potential can be long-lasting. The entire market for 8 Billion Genies is in a holding pattern, waiting for Amazon to make its move. When they do, expect every single one of these books to light up the market once again.
The top 10 from July 2022 was overwhelmingly dominated by 8 Billion Genies, and every single one of those books is currently down from its peak. But with a massive Amazon deal in the background, the potential for a rebound is huge. Elsewhere, we saw a G.I. Joe book become more valuable due to its scarcity. A key Star Wars first appearance cover cooled off, and an indie darling waiting for its moment in the animated spotlight. All the while, we also have Archie. It's a clear picture of how medium news and market scarcity drives the world of comic collecting.
What a fascinating look back. This list really tells the story of the modern comic market. We see the insane power of an adaptation announcement, especially one as big as the 8 Billion Genies deal. It created a tidal wave that lifted every single book in the series to incredible heights. But it also teaches us patience. The market got ahead of itself, and now prices have become much more reasonable. For anyone who missed out in 2022, the door is wide open to invest in what could be a massive franchise. On the other hand, you have a book like that G.I. Joe variant, which quietly appreciated in value simply by being a great cover with a low print run. It reminds us that there are different paths to a good investment. My takeaway for you is this: pay attention to the cycles. Big news causes a spike, followed by a cool down. The smartest collectors often buy during that cool down period, right before the next wave of hype begins. Keep an eye on for production news for 8 Billion Genies and Iyanu, because when it drops, these prices will be a distant memory. I hope you enjoyed this look back at July 2022, where the genies had all the power. And if you did, please like the channel. And for more great weekly comic content, make sure you subscribe to Covrprice's YouTube channel for shows like the Top 10 Comics, the Shaker Report, and comics covers with co-founders Matt and John. And if you want to track the prices of these books and thousands of others, you have to check out Covrprice.com. It is the absolute best resource for real-time comic book sales data from multiple online marketplaces. See their current top 10 list and check out all the market movers and shakers and so much more. And of course, if you haven't already, please take a moment to go to my channel, Comics with IzzyVerseNYC, and you can find me in all of the socials at IzzyVerseNYC. That's all for this week's Rewind. Thank you for stopping by, and until next time, Excelsior.